Hi there and welcome to episode 8 of Ask Paulie Anything. So today I'm going to talk about a topic that you don't really hear too much of, but you still hear enough about it that I feel it's worth having a quick chat about it, and this will probably be quite quick. So we get asked sometimes, why does Shield not offer us the option to rename the WordPress database prefix? Now, for those of you who have no idea what I've just said, what I'm referring to is there's a setting within the WordPress config file referring to the prefix that database tables should use when WordPress creates tables. There's a whole lot of reasons for having this. No point in me going into that now, but basically all WordPress tables in the WordPress database are prefixed with a set of letters. And this helps separate or demarcate those tables as belonging to a particular WordPress installation. Now, there was a lot of talk for a long time about renaming the prefix from the default, which is WP underscore. There's still a lot of plugins and there's still a lot of people who think that renaming the prefix is good security practice. There's nothing secure about renaming your WordPress prefix. Nothing. Because if someone has already attacked your website and gained access, say through an SQL injection, they can run a very simple query that will tell them what the prefix is. Once they're inside, they know what the prefix is. So there's no point in changing it. The point is, changing your WordPress database prefix does nothing to secure your website whatsoever. So Shield will not be including that functionality because there's absolutely no reason to do so. And you might think, well, isn't that a little bit like security through obscurity? Yes, but that's not really security. Security through obscurity helps to slow things down or just make things a little bit more frustrating for a would-be attacker. But it doesn't secure your website and it should not be relied upon as a security mechanism. So no, changing the WordPress security database prefix does not increase your security, and in fact is likely to cause you problems, especially if it's run through a WordPress plugin, because the WordPress plugin needs WordPress to load. And if the WordPress plugin is in a given page load attempting to rename the prefix, change your WordPress config file, rename all your tables, if that runs into any sort of trouble whatsoever, your website is likely going to be toasted unless you know what you're doing to revert it. And that gets me back to another point. When we released Shield Security, we made a rule which was we are not going to modify any core files or any core WordPress hosting files, and that includes the .htaccess and the WP config files, because as I said, for a WordPress plugin to change those, they require a valid WordPress page load to work, and if that fails for whatever reason, or the actual insertion of changes into the .htaccess or the WP config file fails, your WordPress is tanked, and the WordPress security plugin or any other plugin cannot then revert itself or fix any mistakes that it's made because WordPress itself can't load. So Shield, in principle, still to this day, does not modify any core WordPress files, and it certainly doesn't add or modify your PHP INI files, which some security plugins do. Generally, there are far too many WordPress plugins, especially security plugins, that leave their crap lying around your website, PHP INI files, .user.ini files, .htaccess files, when you uninstall and remove a plugin. Shield doesn't do any of that. Back to the point, be careful when you hear what people are saying is actually security. And just because one plugin does one thing, it doesn't mean that A is good security, and B, that all other security plugins, including Shield, should have to do that to make it a good security plugin. We choose our functionality very carefully. I'll leave that there. If you have any questions about what I just said, feel free to leave a comment somewhere below the video, wherever you're watching it. Like it, share it, subscribe on YouTube, do all that wonderful stuff, and I will see you in the next video. See you then, bye.